Welcome in to the Punt Pass podcast. I'm your host, Drew Butler, joined alongside my co-host, Jake from. Be sure to check us out on social media at Punt Pass on Twitter and Instagram. I am at Drew Butler. He is at from Jake, puntandpass.com, the number one destination for all things college football. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you and yours. If you're watching me on YouTube right now, I've got a little get up on. I got a cocktail here. Jake, I'm going to have a glass of wine. This is late on a Wednesday. It is December 21st. You're in the NFL, so you're sipping on a nice little bottled water. Different strokes, people. Different strokes. I got 3 kids upstairs. I just put them to bed. So daddy's going to relax a little bit. And I called up my buddy Jake. I said, let's do a little holiday episode of Punt and Pass. We have a lot to talk about. It's National Signing Day, NIL, transfer portal, 5 stars, bowl season. We're here, brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Drew, to you and your family. Merry Christmas to the good folks out there listening to us. Drew, I think you deserve it 100%. Kind of let your hair down a little bit this afternoon. We're going to have some fun, a lot to talk about. And we're right in the middle of bowl season. And also it is Christmas week.
Yes.
Exciting things happening.
Absolutely. Exciting things are happening. And one very exciting thing that's happening is our great partners over at Prize Picks have an amazing promo going on. It's the 12 days of Picksmas. If you have not downloaded the Prize Picks app right now, people, if you haven't done it yet, I have no idea what you're waiting for. Yes, if you tweet at me, the first person that tweets at me and shows me that they've just signed up, use the promo code PUNT. I promise you, if you do this, you will win. Jake and I will send you a signed Punt and Pass row patch. Just tweet at me. Show me that you signed up. Use the promo code PUNT. Deposit in there. You get a 100% deposit match. Merry Christmas to you from Punt and Pass and Prize Picks. It is simply the best daily fantasy game, and the 12 picks of Christmas are amazing. Last Sunday, little NFL action. Put a little $20 entry in there. Won $100. Hello. Prize Picks is the best. Now you can win up to 25x your money. Payouts are instant. Cross-sport entries are always possible. Bowl season, NFL, NBA, college basketball, NHL. They've got it all. Prize Picks is the best. Go to prizepicks.com. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code PUNT. You get a 100% deposit match up to your first $100. And again, the 12 days of Picksmas is going on right now. Signing Day, National Signing Day is today, Jake. I have so much to say about this. I guess first off, though, I would love to know, how involved are you in recruiting? It's such a big business now. Things have changed so much from when I was in high school to when you were in high school to what is happening now with NIL and the transfer portal. Do you follow it? Do you like it? Did you follow it while you were in school?
When I was getting recruited, I felt like me and Richard LeCount were like most of the 2 involved people I've ever seen. As far as I'm in a recruiting class, recruiting other people. Me and Richard loved it. We wanted to bring guys together, obviously good football players.
And that was Kirby's first class.
Yeah. Yep. And just guys that we got along with, had some fun with. And I'd say it worked out pretty good. We won a lot of football games. We had some fun.
Worked out fantastically. Yeah.
But kind of moving on to today. When I was a player, actually, we would help recruiting. You know, you'd host, do some visits and stuff. You know, you do that. But as today, I personally pretty hands off. Don't really get too involved with it. Man, just the whole recruiting thing it was always kind of I don't want to use this word, a little gross in my opinion, where it's just the lines are so blurred.
Yeah.
You know, you do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Some of it's just a little too much in my opinion. And then today, all the NIL stuff is just over my head.
It's crazy.
You know, people aren't walking into the rooms, the offices of head coaches, and they're not asking, hey, when can I or hey, what can the university do for me? What kind of degree can I get here? What kind of program are you going here? It's hey, how much money can you make me? And am I starting or not on day one? It's just, oh my gosh. And I don't want to put just a blanket over everybody, because that's not all the young kids get recruited. But
those are the stories you read.
Yeah, but man, there's quite a few out there. They're going in with their list of demands. And if you ain't meeting them, they're on a car ride or a plane somewhere else.
I know. It really is unbelievable because, of course, drama sells. Those catchy headlines are what get the clicks. And that's all you ever hear about. NIL,
Yeah.
this, demand, collective, transfer, wants to start, not going to start, flips, all that stuff is all you read now. And things change year over year. I mean, I don't want to be the old guy yelling at the cloud, but that's exactly what has happened. And one thing that I think is misconstrued is that you will oftentimes hear people, whether it's in the media or whether it's a radio host or whoever, say that the schools like Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, throw Clemson in there, whoever is always at the top of the recruiting rankings, have it quote unquote on cruise control. That couldn't be farther from the case. These coaching staffs are relentless. The support staffs are unbelievably deep. They eat, sleep, and breathe recruiting 24/7. The reason they are so successful is because they commit so much time, effort, and capital into making sure that they can cater to these recruits. It's not like Alabama just wakes up and they get 5 stars. It's because Nick Saban hits the road, the staff shows up, they get them on campus, and they wine and dine them, hypothetically speaking. And that's what breeds that type of success. I'm looking at the On3 rankings, the team recruiting rankings from today. Alabama, number 1 by a pretty wide margin. Jake, they signed 6 5-stars. Okay? Alabama,
That's
6 5-stars, 24 stars. I don't know who the lone 3-star is, probably some kicker or punter, God bless him. But that is quite the signing class for a team that people would say had a down year, didn't even play for the SEC championship. Yeah. Georgia right behind them. They signed 1 5-star, according to On3. A couple of other services say they have 2 or 3 5-stars, 21 4-stars, 4 3-stars. Miami right behind him at 3. Texas gets Arch Manning to sign his letter of intent. Of course, hopefully he's going to be the big game changer for the Longhorns. Then it's the usual suspects. Ohio State, LSU, Oregon made some big splashes today. But, man, times have changed. I was telling somebody this morning. They were like, what was recruiting like when you were in school? I was like, all right, get the time machine out. This is 2006, people, a long time ago. I am old. Rivals was there. Scout.com, which I believe now is 247 or whatever. Those were the two. Those were the two that were out there. Chad Simmons was on the beat. Simmons, he's still out there, dude. Shout out to Chad.
Yep.
Look, you were on QB1. You're a big 5-star guy. You knew all these guys. I was nobody, okay? Literally nobody. My high school went to the state championship. We won a state championship or tied, depending how you look at it. So during that playoff run, Jake, a lot of coaches were starting to show up. Cameron Hayward was a teammate of mine. He was highly sought after. Thought he was going to Georgia. In that same signing class, not at my high school, was Eric Berry, Cam Newton, guy named Alan Bailey, who was very high up on a lot of lists and ended up going to Miami, and a couple of others within the state of Georgia. Josh Nesbitt, remember him? He played at Georgia Tech. So Georgia thought that they were going to get a lot of these top guys.
Oh my gosh. I mean, dude, that
list is some heavy hitters. That's like murderer's row of 5-stars in the state of Georgia. Goodness. So I'm going to Athens, like begging for a scholarship. Like, please let me come here. They're like, listen, punter kid whose dad went here, we'll give you a preferred walk-on spot. Well, Duke and Wake Forest were like, we'll give you a full ride. So I go up and take my officials to Duke and Wake Forest. I'm like, look, this is pretty sweet. They tell me I'm going to start. I'm not having to pay for college. I'm probably going to go to Duke or Wake Forest. Well, what do you know? Eric Berry commits to Tennessee. Cam Newton commits to Florida. Alan Bailey commits to Miami. Josh Nesbitt commits to Georgia Tech. My high school teammate, Cam Hayward, who I've known since 5th grade, has this big ceremony at school. He's going to say who he's committing to. Everybody thinks it's Georgia, right? Oh. He's got a red shirt on underneath his hoodie. He busts that thing over. It's Ohio State.
Did everybody like, dirty.
Oh, man. I'm kind of looking up going, oh, my God, Georgia might have a scholarship just waiting on me. A couple more to give out to the poor kids. So I said, what's going to happen? I got a phone call a couple weeks later. It was about a week before signing day. They're like, hey, Drew, we got a scholarship for you. I was like, yes, that's how I got to Georgia. I committed then. Obviously, look, it's different stories than what you were able to do. Pick of the litter, commit to Bama, decommit, go follow Kirby to Georgia. But things now are so different, so public. You go to any high school recruit's Instagram or Twitter page, all it is, so-and-so 5-star check out my huddle tape. Here's my highlight from last weekend. The game has changed, and these coaches, God bless them, they have to deal with it all the time.
Yeah, thanks for telling us that story, Drew.
You like that story? I mean,
dude,
look,
that was great.
Okay. That's how I got to it.
I had no idea all those dudes were there at the same time in the same degree class. That's pretty incredible. But I loved how you circled back all the way around the Christmas tree to the coaches.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to say this loud for the people in the back. The amount of work they put in, like you think they put in work scheming up week to week. Yes, they do. But when they're getting a text or having to text a recruit at 11:30 at night after they've worked all day, I mean, dude, the recruiting stuff for them never stops, and especially in this day and age. Coaches, they finish that 12th game of the season. Maybe they'll play on championship weekend. But after that, I mean, they flipped the switch and they are out on the road and they are recruiting and they're living hotel to hotel.
Yeah.
Don't see their wives, don't see their family. And they are just absolutely getting after it. And they are at the mercy of 16, 17, and 18-year-old young men. It is mind-blowing to me.
So how often
their job depends
yeah.
on what a 17-year-old kid wants to do.
How often would they contact you during the week? Because I remember back in 2006, like getting a phone call. Coach Bobo and Coach Martinez were my recruiters. If I got a phone call from them, I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. Yeah. And now looking back on it, I'm like, they probably could not believe that they had to call me at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday night to ask me how things are going.
Yeah.
Just, that's so funny to me looking back. But a guy like you, and I'm not saying this to make a joke. I want to know, as a 5-star, are they just constantly hitting you up on your phone at all times of the day? Or what's that like after you've committed or decommitted?
Yeah. I mean, there's always a feel on the kid and how maybe quote unquote needy they are and how much attention they want. I mean, I'm pretty chill. I didn't need a whole lot of attention. Like, hey coach, I appreciate you calling me, once a week. You don't have to do this.
Okay.
It's no big deal. I'm just out here crushing my high school football games, throwing for 404 tutties every night. No big deal.
Love it.
But no, it's just, it's, I would say every coach is different. Every kid is different. There's always a little bit of a uniqueness to it. But man, some of them are calling weekly. Like that's just built into their schedule that they have to do week to week.
I can't imagine what it's like now too, with like FaceTime and social media and just how available people are. Again, 2006, the iPhone was not out yet. You had to do like TTY texting. I mean, that's me showing my age. Coach Bobo, hey, Drew, can you talk tonight at 9 p.m.? I was like, oh, my God, I feel like I'm the most important guy in the world. God bless that, man. I love Coach Bobo. He's one of the best, and he used to ride my ass when I was in Athens, dude. Like, relentless on me. Looking back, I am so grateful, and I'm very happy he's back in Athens. So a little behind the curtains there of two very, very different recruiting stories, and I'm sure if we were able to get somebody on to tell us some of the stories of what's going on today, it is a completely different world, Jake. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
Let's talk about NIL and the transfer portal, because there's one story that I want to bring up that made the rounds, and I have some opinions about it. A guy that we talked about a lot in the past is Drake May. Drake May, the North Carolina quarterback this past season, who was getting Heisman love before North Carolina dropped 2 games late in the season to Georgia Tech and NC State. He entered the transfer portal after the season was over. He was in it for a couple of days and said, what am I doing? I'm going back to Chapel Hill. Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, who got poached a year ago, poached in air quotes, Jordan Addison, his All-American Biletnikoff award-winning wide receiver, went to USC after having an amazing year at Pitt with Kenny Pickett as his quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Narduzzi came out and said, I know of 2 schools that offered Drake May $5 million to transfer to those respective schools. And Narduzzi said, I'm not going to say who they are, but I know who they are. This is a sad, sad deal. Now, Jake, I am all in favor of student athletes getting paid. That is well documented. That is what I do for a living at Icon Source. At the risk of being overly dramatic, okay, I'm going to bust out a quote from Martin Luther King Jr., okay? Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Pat Narduzzi, if you want to fix the issue, name the schools. Air out the dirty laundry, dude. If it's that bad, there has to be a fix. Get it so messy that the NCAA or somebody has to step in and make a change, because explicitly NIL was not supposed to be meant to do this, to create this wildly rampant free agency, guys entering into the portal and offers coming for $5+ million. If they're aware of bad actors, why aren't they exposing them? I'm at a loss for words for that. I wish these coaches would just say, you know what? I've had enough of it. These are the bad actors. Go do something about it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I would love to hear what these schools are, because I don't
But do you
think
also, though, do you believe that $5 million? Do you believe that in your heart of hearts? Because I do not. But continue. Sorry to interrupt.
it's like I do and I don't. Do I believe it's an outrageous amount of money? Yes. Do I believe it's actually $5 million? Probably not. Okay, but it is probably a large sum of money, especially.
What would you say is a large sum of money for a guy like Drake May? Because I would say $500,000 is a gigantic sum of money for a 22-year-old who's in college.
I was going to say right around the mill 1.5, somewhere in there. Like,
absolutely,
dude, that is a lot of money. Okay, but yes, I would love for the schools to be, and I think they're not going to be the names you think they're going to be. I think so they might think it would be a Georgia or an Alabama, but those teams, like those schools, just don't have the booster kind of funds that you think just grows on trees. Some of these teams, these universities, don't. They don't have that kind of that fund that just comes out of nowhere. And oh, hey, here's your random $5 million.
Do you realize how much $5 million is in this day and age? Okay, in the economic climate that we're in, do you honestly think? I'm just asking the question out loud. I might be totally wrong. Again, this is all just my opinion. I do not believe that figure is correct. Do you realize how much money $5 million is essentially crowdsourced from boosters to spend? There is not an ROI on those dollars, right? This is a booster or boosters that are literally saying no tax advantage, no investment.
Right? That was the big kicker for me when I learned that, because a lot of the booster money they get to use as a tax write-off.
Depends. It all depends, but yes.
It kind of depends on it. But for this and the NIL stuff, nothing. I mean, that's just, hey, you take it, no benefit to me. I love ball, love school, want to see the Dogs win.
So a little word to the wise, okay? As a guy who deals in NIL literally every single day, just be careful what you listen to or what you choose to believe. When you hear these massive numbers like $30 million at Texas A&M, $5 million offered to Drake May. There was a tweet last week about, I think it was this Damon Wilson kid, the 5-star who committed to Georgia today. Great for him. Some salty Ohio State fan or some radio guy up in Midwest said, Ohio State couldn't even offer him $750,000 a year. That's what Georgia did. Now, people, I'm just telling you right now, that is not the case. I know that for a fact. Do you know how much $750,000 is in these instances? I just don't believe it. I take everything with a grain of salt. I cut it in half, divide it by 3, and then I'm like, okay, that's probably where we're at. But these poor kids, I just hope that they are well protected. I hope that they get good advice. If they're smart, they would use Icon Source, and that would certainly protect them from all of this madness that is going on. And it's nobody's fault, Jake, but the NCAA. That is who is to blame. Full stop. They are derelict. They've done nothing. There are no guidelines. There is no enforcement. There are no regulations around NIL or the transfer portal. Okay. And that is the issue that we're dealing with right now. And people are quick to say, well, why would you want to regulate it? Right? This is capitalism. This is America. And to that, I say, in the stock market, you can make buku money. But guess what? There are rules to play by. I think this should be no different.
Very interesting take. I'm at loss for words here, because like on one hand, I say, hey, go get it. It's there. If it
100%.
If it exists, by all means. My hypothesis was correct. on the Drake May situation where I thought, hey, he just went into the transfer portal to collect offers as a free
As he
agent,
should have.
basically,
Absolutely.
and went back, and I guess he probably got a pretty dang good deal. Somebody paid him a lot, and he's going to be happy right where he's at. But I mean, just the questions need to be asked. We don't have to solve answers and solve the world's problems, but I mean, how would you regulate it?
Of
I
course.
mean, what
People way smarter than me need to take care of that.
like
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, what does it look like? I have no idea. But the optimistic person in me says, I think there's a better way. I believe there's a better way. But at the same time, I'm not going to be on the past side of things and say, because I missed out on it, I feel like a certain way towards it. Like, hey, no, kid, like, go for it. That's all you. Just different times.
If the goal is to protect and provide for student athletes, there is a better way. And again, if Drake May could have gotten $15 million, dude, I am all for it, because when the cat's away, the mice will play. And that's exactly what's going on right now. To that point, Texas San Antonio, shout out McGruber, UTSA's head coach, he came out and tweeted as well. Hey, NCAA, what do I need to do to tell on the schools and the collectives and these NIL talking heads who are trying to poach our talent? He tweeted it out. I'm like, Coach, air out the dirty laundry. Air it out. That right there is exactly what will make these things come to light. And that's just my personal opinion.
It's NBA tampering is what it is.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And like I heard Danny Cannell talking about this morning. Say Drake May got $10 million. Hey, first off, great for him. What is UNC left with, right? What if they got 2 extra scholarships the next signing class? What if they got to pick one kid? Like, where are we going? I have no idea. We can talk in circles around this.
Are they going to start trading? Hey, I'll give you Drake May for 4 scholarships and the rights to Archie Manning in the 2023 class or whatever.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. One person who's in the transfer portal right now is Travis Hunter. We talked about this on Monday's episode. Yeah. Travis Hunter, who was at Jackson State, the #1 overall recruit a year ago at Jackson State. Coach Prime leaves for Colorado. Now, Travis Hunter, it's being reported Alabama's in the mix. Florida State's back in the mix. Georgia is high up on the list. Of course, Colorado is still there. Somebody tweeted at me, and if it was you, tweet at me again, because I thought this was a great hypothesis. They said, don't you think Coach Prime might be telling Travis Hunter, hey, go enjoy 2 weeks, get your offers, have fun, take a visit, do whatever you want, because I know your ass is going to Boulder, Colorado. You are coming with me to Colorado and Shedeur Sanders, Prime's son, who's now the quarterback for the Buffaloes. And it will look like, this is what the person who tweeted me said, it will look like a massive recruiting win for Deion, for Colorado, against the behemoths who are always at the top of the recruiting rankings. And I thought that was a great thought. Deion says, go do your thing. This is going to be a huge PR win for us.
Yeah, I mean, if that works out, fantastic. Just kind of holding the ace there in the back pocket. But, I mean, you never know the deals that could be put into play on these recruiting visits, the words that can be said, just the temptation, just the offers, the persuasive meetings. I don't know. Stuff can happen on these recruiting visits. Me personally, I'm risk averse. I wouldn't take that chance. But hey, man, Prime's Prime. Prime is Prime for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think they may be primed up for a pretty big win in getting Travis Hunter.
I like that. I saw a video today too. Shannon Sharp sat down with Deion. I think it's supposed to be released in a couple of days, but somebody leaked it out, and he was like, so Travis Hunter's coming with you to Boulder. And Prime was like, yeah, of course. Like, it's already a done deal. So who knows? That's just what we think. You know what I think? I think during the holidays, you should 100% play Prize Picks. There's no doubt about it. You're going to be around your family. A lot's going on, commotion. But guess what? This holiday, Saturday, tons of NFL games on Christmas Eve, Sunday, triple header NFL on Christmas Day, along with, of course, as always, the NBA action. And if you go to prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app, One, the 12 days of Picksmas is going on. Two, if you enter the promo code PUNT, you get a 100% deposit match up to your first $100. Check us out on social media at Punt and Pass on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler. I will put out my Christmas prize picks entry on Friday. That will be on Friday. I've won the last 2 weeks. It will be on Friday. You can join along as well. A Christmas gift from me and you from Prize Picks. That will be my gift.
Speaking of gifts, Drew, while you mentioned it, thinking of Prize Picks, hey, if you're kind of late to the game getting a gift for somebody, sign somebody up for Prize Picks. Get them to play.
Dude, why not? That's a fantastic gift. Punch in the promo code PUNT. Use that person's email address. Say, hey, I was proactive in my gift to you. Or just, Venmo them the cash. Say, sign up for Prize Picks right now. Do it on your phone. This is my gift to you. Use the promo code PUNT. Your gift just doubled. Where else can you double your gift in an instant? That's what Punt and Pass and Prize Picks is doing for you. Great idea, Jake. In the giving mood, sign somebody up for Prize Picks. Use the promo code PUNT. Wrapping things up, bowl season is chugging along. Not too many games this weekend, but buddy, it picks up in full pace next week. We'll, of course, touch on that after the holiday. I saw Eric Gilbert, Georgia tight end who had transferred to UGA. Yeah. He has entered the transfer portal. You hope everything with him is going okay. You've heard about some of the personal issues. It seems like the coaching staff and the support staff at Georgia has been by his side the entire time. Hey, maybe it's time for him to go find a new spot. Best of luck to Eric Gilbert. Another former Dog who has entered the transfer portal and found a home, JT Daniels. Fourth school in 4 years. Jake, he's heading to Rice. Rice is a great school. I hope he finds success. I hope he graduates. JT Daniels, please get your degree from somewhere. We're rooting for you. I don't know how you've done it with transferring schools so many times and how those course credits can carry over. But, buddy, if you do, God bless you. Please graduate.
Yeah, I completely agree. As a person who has done so this semester, I was on the phone with my wife when you sent me the link, and I opened up my computer. My computer opened up, and I had this giant Excel spreadsheet up of my last project that I turned in. Brought me back, kind of scared me a little bit. Just so glad to be done with it. So dude. Go get your degree. Look, if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, you did it, man. Look at you. You were a podcast host, an NFL quarterback. You were living roughly, 600 miles away from your college campus, and you graduated with an economics degree, a finance degree from the University of Georgia, Terry College of Business. Good on you.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Everybody knows Rodney DeBolsey from UGA Sports. Now I'm just going all over the place. I want to get a couple of things off my chest. He said Georgia signed 3 players named Harris today and 2 named Wilson. That's pretty impressive in one signing class. A.J. Harris, Daniel Harris, and Gabe Harris, and Damon Wilson and Raylan Wilson. It's pretty interesting. Somebody named Tyler James, right underneath him, said this. Notre Dame signed a 2023 wide receiver recruit named Caleb Smith and a grad transfer wide receiver named Caleb Smith. Same spelling, same position, 2 guys at Notre Dame. So, interesting stats.
Hey, Drew, I'm going to ask you a question here because you probably know a little bit more about this than I do. But I do not see a quarterback here in the Dogs class. Tell me what's going on? Do they have one maybe in the mix for later, or did it feel like they need to take one? They have someone on the roster already. Because from my understanding, it was a pretty large room kind of anyway. There's a couple of guys in there. I think they kind of believe in Carson a lot moving forward. Just some food for thought. I don't know if you knew any more about it than I did.
I don't, but here is my thought process. I had heard from some pretty good sources that, and I think we talked about this on Monday's episode, if Georgia didn't get Arch Manning, they were going to wait this year. And they were going to put their efforts towards somebody in the 2024 class who now is available as Dylan Raiola, who just decommitted from Ohio State. So that gives them kind of that gap. It is a crowded room. They'll put their efforts towards Dylan Raiola, who's the number 1 overall quarterback recruit in next year's signing class. I would assume as well, I haven't heard anything. I would assume as well, they feel pretty confident in Carson Beck. I actually got asked that question this morning. Who do you think starts game 1 next year for Georgia? I said, right now, I think Carson Beck. Or you would know better, so I'd love your thought. Kirby will 100% go into camp next year and say, this job is wide ass open.
Yeah.
Best person come forward. You dealt with that every single year. But Brock Vandegrift, Gunnar Stockton, Carson Beck, like they're going to have the opportunity to duke it out next training camp. Would you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. They're going to have all the opportunities in the world. Obviously, they'll lean the reps a little bit more towards the guys they feel so. But yeah, in the media, Kirby's going to be like it's open game, and it'll be and feel that way a lot. Probably going through spring practice and kind of leading into camp. But yeah, I mean, I think all those guys in that room are fully capable of getting it done and winning a lot of big time games, winning a SEC championship, winning a national championship. But that is interesting if you're talking about that young quarterback in the 2024 class. That is something for Kirby and them to hold kind of in their back pocket, be like, hey, we believed in you so much. We didn't even take a quarterback in 2023. And, they'll like that because, less competition, more they believe in me. So I believe that if anything but helps.
100% correct. And everybody, that will be a very, very big topic heading into next season. Last quarterback topic, a couple quarterback topics real quick, just transfers. Devin Leary from NC State, who is the ACC preseason player of the year. He has transferred to Kentucky. Graham Mertz, who has been at Wisconsin, transferred to Florida. That's a quarterback. Emory Jones, who was at Florida, then transferred to Arizona State, has now transferred to Cincinnati. I mean, it's crazy out in the transfer portal streets. So just wanted to get that out there for everybody listening.
Hey, am I late to this party, or do we already know that the receiver from Mississippi State,
where did he go? Is he going to Georgia?
He's going to Georgia.
So that's official.
Well, I'm just looking here on the 247 website.
Okay.
It says, maybe it's okay. It just says prediction, eligibility, immediate. Okay, sorry. Yeah,
I think people. I think people do expect him to end up at Georgia. That's at least what the rumors are on social media. And that guy, certified gamer, SEC experience, baller. Plug and play, could be a great fit. Last question, then I'm going to get you out of here. This has been a very fun, freewheeling Christmas episode of Punt and Pass. This topic came up today as well. We were just talking about Georgia's quarterback room. Obviously, Stetson Bennett will not be the quarterback at Georgia next year. I was playing golf. This was a month and a half ago. I was playing golf, and we literally had like a 5-hole debate, conversation, spirited talk.
Heated.
The discussion was, what will Stetson Bennett be doing at this time next year? That was just the open-ended question. What will Stetson Bennett be doing at this time, December 21st in 2023? Now, first things first, he owes it to himself, and most certainly he will try to go to the NFL, as he should. What do you think he's doing next year? I will open up the floor to you. Don't have to take a long time. You can give a quick discussion, quick talk. December 21st, 2023. What is Stetson Bennett doing at 8:21 p.m.?
I think for 100%, okay, he is in camp with somebody.
Okay.
In August.
I agree with that.
100%. From what he does with that opportunity from there is solely up to him. So I don't know what he's doing in December next year, but he's going to be in camp with somebody. Somebody's going to give him an opportunity, and whatever he wants to make of that opportunity is solely up to him.
I think that's a very well said answer. My simple answer is whatever the hell he wants, because this guy's proven that if he puts his mind to it, he's probably going to get it accomplished. And if that's to be on an NFL roster or be an ambassador for some amazing company in the state of Georgia, or, I don't know, ESPN, who the hell knows? Stetson Bennett will be doing whatever the hell he wants. If you stuck around this episode long enough for me to ask that question, tweet at us. Let us know what you think at Drew Butler, at From Jake. That's about all I got, man. I bet your head is spinning. You're like, Drew got shot out of a cannon late night, but there's so much to touch on. I always go into these episodes. I'm like, I don't really know what to talk about. And then I just get on here with you, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we just start going back and forth. And here, late night in the hotel room, I'm sitting here thinking, man, I had like a normal Christmas in a long time. And I was wondering if there's any kind of cool things you and your family do tradition-wise. Is there a meal you
Okay.
reminisce on. You got to have. My mom always made the most delicious breakfast casserole
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Christmas morning, and then Dad always went to the butcher shop, and we got after it
Love
cooking
it.
some steaks Christmas night. So honestly, I may have looked forward to the food more than anything on Christmas, being with the fam and kind of enjoying it. But that's just me. I didn't know if you had anything cool you wanted to harp on.
Yeah, that's a great question. Appreciate you asking. Things change so much when you have kids. Like, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I was growing up, it was all those same types of traditions. We always went to my grandparents' house on Christmas night. People would come over to my parents' house on Christmas Eve. My grandma would always make her lasagna on Christmas night, which is absolutely fantastic. And now with the kiddos in the mix, Christmas morning, it's an early wake up.
Yeah.
We do the cinnamon rolls, so we always have fun with that, rip into some presents. And then we just kind of bop around, man. We always go see the family. It's just really, really fun. And Bridget now, she's 4.5. She totally gets it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Kara's 2.5, follows her around. She's loving it, fired up for Sunday morning. And then we got Olivia in the mix, who's 3 weeks old today. So things have drastically changed. Last night we did a big Christmas spectacular at Atlanta Athletic Club. The girls were running around. They ate candy until 10 p.m. Like, all those fun things. So you make the new memories. Last Friday was Bridget's last day at school before break. So they did like the big pajama Polar Express party. She was like over the moon.
Gotta
it's
have
cool.
one of those.
Yeah, it's cool to like see it through their eyes. And my new traditions are drinking a glass of wine, doing Punt Pass late at night. So it's the best.
Can it get any better?
No,
it can't.
Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Thanks so much for making us a part of your holiday. Be sure to download the Prize Picks app. Use the promo code PUNT. Sign somebody up for Prize Picks. Your gift doubles. How amazing is that? What an awesome idea from our own Jake Fromm. Just use the promo code PUNT. The 12 days of Picksmas are going on. Check us out on social media this weekend. I will put my entry out there on Twitter and Instagram. I'm at Drew Butler on Twitter and Instagram. He's at From Jake, at Punt and Pass, puntandpass.com. Jake, anything on the way out?
Man,
this has been a very fun Christmas episode.
I am looking forward to flying over to San Francisco, play the 49ers, get to see my old roommate, Charlie Warner.
Get a picture. That'd be a good one.
Be a cool Christmas Eve. Yeah, man. What can get better? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Again, puntandpass.com, at Punt and Pass, at Drew Butler, at From Jake, Prize Picks, promo code PUNT. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. And we will talk to you next Tuesday, I think. See you.
See you.